Welcome. You have reached the Appraisal Doctor. I am Dr. Aria A. Wilson, PhD in Urban Planning and Certified Residential Appraiser. For all your appraisal needs, you have come to the right place. Any questions? Stay tuned. In today's video, we're going to tackle the very first question. What is an appraisal? Now, as an appraiser, once people know I'm an appraiser, this is the most common question they ask. What is an appraisal? What is it used for? Now, let's start with a definition. An appraisal is the determination of a value that must reflect the location, the size of the property, the age of the property, the condition, the market in which the property is segmented. And of course, if it's commercial, we want to know the income potential of the property. So the value must be determined by the appraiser, but all these factors need to be considered in order for that value to be accurate. Now, what is that value? It's not as easy as it seems. The appraiser must determine the type of value in order to accurately deliver an appraisal report. Now, there are several types of values, and the values are different depending on what the appraisal is going to be used for or which client wants the appraisal report. So let's talk about the market value. That's the most common value that needs to be found. Now, the appraiser, his task is to come up with that market value, which of course is influenced by the demand and the supply within whatever market is being researched. Most cases, it's the residential market that needs a market value. So that's one value. Another type of value is the cost value. Some people call it the insurance value. And this value is normally needed whenever there might be a disaster, a fire, hurricane, but it's the value that is really not a market value, but the actual cost to rebuild the property within its original form. The appraiser must determine the type of value before he executes his assignment. Now, the value that is being determined, as I said, can be the market value. It can also be the cost. And that cost value is also called the insurance value, the replacement value. Another value that is normally determined by the appraiser is a retrospective value. And basically, it's the same as the market value, but at a different time frame. As it suggests, retrospective, it's in the past. So scenarios such as a dissolution of marriage is a very good example. So the appraiser has the responsibility to ensure that the evidence, the research that he does, all the comps that he's using is in relation to the date that is in the past. So for example, if the divorce happened 2 years ago, then his comps must reflect that time frame. The condition of the property must reflect that time frame. In that case, the value that is defined in that appraisal report would be a retrospective value. It would be a value that is accurately determined in the past. So that's for the retrospective value. Another example of a scenario where one would need a retrospective value is, say, for an estate situation where a property is passing hands through death. So somebody has a will and they're leaving their estate to their children, and there might be 3 kids. There has to be an appraisal done as at the date of death. Okay? That's also retrospective value. Now, the other value that is different and must be defined by the appraiser in the appraisal report is the appraised value, or the tax value, or the property tax value, the appraisal district's value. So many people can relate to this because you get that tax bill every year for your property taxes. That property tax is based on the value that the appraisal district puts on your property. So that's a different kind of value as well. And sometimes the appraiser is tasked with that type of engagement. So there has to be a different type of research for the appraised value or the property tax value. So I have explained to you that the appraisal must reflect the value that takes into consideration several factors, and let's go over those factors: the location, the land use, the condition, the size of the land, the size of the property itself, the age, and in some cases where it's a commercial property, the potential for income. Now, with all those characteristics considered, the appraiser is in a good situation to come up with an accurate value. That's what an appraisal is about. That's what an appraisal is. Now, there are several steps to coming up with an appraisal value. There are several steps to coming to the point of producing that report. That report can be a physical report or it can be a digital report. But this is the report that the appraisal comes in the form of. This is the report that the appraiser produces at the end of the appraisal exercise. There are several steps to it in the appraisal process, and we will go into that kind of detail in another video for another week. But for today, I just want you guys to remember what an appraisal is and that there are several types of values. Okay? The retrospective value, the market value, the property tax value, and of course, the cost or insurance value. So guys, I know I probably have answered a question or two today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Let's build a community of dialogue where you ask me questions of the appraisal industry and I give you the answers. Thank you. I am the Appraisal Doctor. See you next week for more.
I'm feeling high.